A long time ago, there was a son who had fallen ill, and his mother, a rich and concerned woman, prayed to God, and she prayed and prayed all day long, and she was like, I will build a chapel in my backyard. I will pay for the priest his year's salary if you would only save my son. Well, a miracle happened, and her son was indeed saved. But when he was saved, she did no longer care for the promise she had made in a prayer. All she cared about was the fact that her son had almost died, without a wife and without a child, and that was, in that day, not a thing she wanted to live with. So she needed her son to marry, and luckily she had already figured out who he would marry to. A young girl from a village a couple miles away, but that girl too had fallen ill. And her father had prayed and prayed, and he prayed to God and said, if you cure my daughter, I will make sure that she will become a nun and go to the monastery. She will devote her life to you, but please save her. And she too was indeed saved. But her father passed away, and the mother of the girl didn't really like her going to the monastery. Instead, she would love to see her daughter have a family of her own and have children. So when the mother of the boy came to her and said, well, they should marry, she was more than happily agreeable to that. But luckily they fell in love and they got married and they began to form a small little family. Fate caught up to them. The boy got ill, and this time he did die. And the daughter had fallen pregnant, gave birth to a stillborn son. The girl ran back to her mother's home, crying and weeping, and in the end she died of a broken heart. She had written a will and said that all the money that she had would go to the monastery that she was supposed to have gone to. The mother of the boy was so distraught by all that happened, and then remembered, finally, the promise she had made all those years ago. She built a chapel in her backyard with her own money. She paid for the priest, and then she was forgiven. What happened to them afterwards, no one really knows. All I know is that they really regretted breaking that promise.